University of Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to rumble. And in this corner, we have Fred Abernathy. He does not have a middle name, by the way. And Mr. Ivery L. Lewis, coming from Los Angeles, California. From LA.
Hey,
baby. What's happening?
what's happening, baby? To the University of Man. Welcome, baby. Two brothers talking about manhood from a Christian perspective. Yep,
Sir,
all the way from,
Jesus. What's
from the Chi to LA, baby. We going across the country, spreading the good news, man. What's happening, bro?
Man, listen, I went to a graduation at Sierra Canyon. If you know anything about Sierra Canyon, it's a whole bunch of stars. I sent you a picture. I felt like the inner Danville, Illinois come out of me. I was like, yo, Scottie Pippen's right there, and Gilbert Arenas is right there, Flea's right there. And like, we're all in the same row, same area. I was like, but I calmed down. Juju Watkins was right there in front of me. So, yeah, we having a good day, man.
Oh, that's what's up. Denise graduated?
Actually, I call him my nephew, but one of my buddies I work with, Chris Davis, shout out to Roster Bound. He's got to graduate, man. He's about to go to Harvey Mudd. That's a very prestigious West Coast Ivy League type school. So he's about to be an engineer and play football.
Hey, well, you know, it is graduation season, so I gotta give a shameless plug to my baby girl. She graduated. She getting ready to go to NCAT, North Carolina A&T. Boo-hoo-hoo. She be walking around the house talking about, I'm Aggie bred, Aggie. What did she say? No, Aggie pride. No, Aggie born, Aggie bred. When I die, I be Aggie dead. I gotta learn it. So she about to be an Aggie, man. It's been a great season. If you look at my social media, I got some great pictures and reels of her, man. I just can't believe it. I remember she was the size of a football, bro, and I used to carry her around. Now, yeah, it's crazy. Hey, but listen, man. One of my cousins.
One of your cousins.
Calandro Robinson wrote a book.
Say his name one more time, real slow for the people in the back.
Calandro Robinson wrote a book while he was incarcerated. And you know, you get a lot of time on your hands while you're incarcerated. But what I admire about it is while he had that time, he did something with it. Got the book published, got it out. Hey, and I'm all about, you know, supporting fam when they're doing well, when they're doing what they're supposed to do. So I wanted to talk about a couple of the things that is in this book. And the title of the book is Boundaries of Principal Weapons of Engaging Intellectual Conversation. And
that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. It is a mouthful. But more importantly, it's kind of how we normally talk. And it's crazy how our podcast came about. We just were having a normal conversation one day. He's like, man, we need to record that. That was crazy. So just thinking about it, man. And when I look at the titles of some of the chapters, they were very compelling. But the first chapter, I really want you to talk to me about, Ivory.
Let's go.
It says, never complain about what you permit in your life. And before you answer, look, when you think about you got somebody in your life that's always complaining about something, no matter what it is. Oh man, I can't believe she did that, man. My wife be spending too much money, man. My kids, woo. They always complaining, but didn't they allow that in their life? So what are we complaining about? Tell me how you feel about that, bro.
So I'm raising some athletes, and mindset is everything. It doesn't happen, you know, our saying it doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And to get people through that conversation is tough. My mom, man, I tell you, I used to say this story a lot, but we get cut off going to school or something like that early in the morning. And as soon as she got cut off, she like go crazy. Like, you'll never see this woman again. Why are you so angry right now? And then as soon as we get at home, she'd call somebody, and then it comes up in conversation. You know, by the way, I heard it. Oh, you know, this woman cut me out 8 o'clock at night. She's still having the same conversation, and she flipped me off. And I'm saying in the background, you know, she didn't flip you off. Shut up. Like, so some people that this is a part of their life, this is a part of their communication, their lifestyle, and their great story, they're orators, they're great storytellers. And sometimes when you don't have anything to talk about, or you don't want to quote unquote one up somebody, like, you know, I don't want to talk about my good stuff. Like, there's times where we have successes, Fred, you know about this, and we have successes, and we can't really talk to everybody about some of the successes, but we want to be able to talk to somebody that gets it, and we talk to each other. And, you know, you have to get that space where you can actually have that. So going back to the question, you have to own everything in your life. And if you don't own everything in your life, you will be a victim way too many times. And then somebody else has some say over yourself and what's going on. And I choose to take the ownership versus the victim mentality. So that's a great first chapter.
The ownership rather the victim mentality. So look, when you talk about owning something, a tangible thing that you can own, let's just talk about you own your home.
16 unit apartment complex. Come on,
16 unit apartment complex. Hey, you speak that into existence, baby. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So when you own something, there's a different level of responsibility that you have with it. You want your grass to look good, want your curb appeal to be right, want your fixtures to be good, want your electric to be up to date, want your roof to be good so you're not getting water linking in, making sure your foundation is good so you're not getting sewage and water coming in.
Sure.
But when you're a victim, you just let things happen. Not really. I don't like to let things happen, because when I think about victims, sometimes things happen to people and they do get victimized. But when we're talking about somebody who's complaining about something that you've allowed in your life,
sure,
you just became the victim as opposed to owning the situation. And even in my life, I think about, you know, just even with my ex, it was like, well, did you own what you did, what your part was? Absolutely. I had to take responsibility for the role that I played in the demise of our relationship. Yep, I own it. So whatever that comes with, you have to give up the house or whatever. When people go through a divorce, and I just told somebody this the other day, whether your relationship was great or toxic, a marriage is a living, breathing entity. When it's over, it feels like something has died. Like it's dead. So you have to take that ownership. And when you take ownership, is okay, responsibility and accountability for what your part was that you did. So I got an idea of what responsibility and accountability looks like. Tell me, Ari, when you think about taking responsibility as opposed to accountability, what's the difference? Because I think a lot of times as men, especially when you know having an argument with a significant other, you don't ever take responsibility or you don't ever take accountability. What's the difference, bro? Like, talk to me.
Okay, so hear me out. You can be accountable and not own, but you can't own and not be accountable.
Whoa. I think that was a nugget. Say it again for the people in the back.
I said it for you. So you can be accountable and not own, but you cannot, I repeat, not own and not be accountable. So there's a lot of people that come from a mindset that it's somebody else's job, them, they, us. Like, get that out of your vocabulary. The buck stops here. And if somebody on the team, if somebody in the agency, if somebody in the group, if somebody in the family is not right, it stops with you. Whether it's you got to pray more, whether it's you got to go and change different things, you got to spend more time, you got to work on certain stuff. It doesn't matter. Like, well, the school, I'm not going to blame the school. I can't do that. this is my child. This is my home. This is what's going on. And if something goes down and I say that you have to find individuals in your life where you inspect what you expect, but in the same token, you have to be able to give people as much leeway as possible for them to learn to do the things in their way versus just your way, because your way might not always be the right way. But as long as the job get done, who really cares, right?
Oh my God. So it's crazy you said that, because I just seen a post on Instagram with this couple.
I just shout out.
They said we may not always agree, but we're always in agreement. So sometimes we fight back to back.
Yeah.
You handle this, I'm gonna handle that, you handle this. But then we never fight face to face because we're not pointing at each other. We're not fighting each other.
Man,
but sometimes we got
Mr.
to fight.
and Mrs. Smith, where they were fighting around each other like that with the guns.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But then the couple said, but we do fight side by side when we got to face the devil and say, whatever it is you're trying to bring in here, you tried to blame her, but we're going to fight together.
Yeah.
But when you talk about taking that ownership and accountability for something that has happened and the buck stops here.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation with somebody. You remember, especially men, and if you're from an inner city, I'm going to almost guarantee you that this was your experience. The one person who told you what to do as a kid all the time was your mother. When you went to school, the people that told you what to do, 95% of them were females, your teachers. Then you get married and you feel like the woman you married is telling you what to do.
University of Men.
And if you are anything like me and you have daughters, you feel like they telling you what to do. And you like, man, everybody's questioning you. Where you going? When you coming back? Wait a minute, I'm the adult. I used to ask, when do I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it as a man? And this old guy told me one day, I'll never forget, in the barbershop, he's like, and I was contemplating this question, like, man, everybody be questioning me where I'm going, what I'm doing. He said, who's the most powerful man in the world right now? And I was like, I guess President Obama, because he's the president of the free world. He's the leader of the free world. He's like, okay. He said, President Obama goes to Camp David. Do you think people know where he is? I'm like, oh yeah, the security detail, the cabinet, the vice president knows where he is. He said, yeah, okay. He leaves Camp David. He goes to the White House and he's on the basketball court. Because, he got a court. He put a court in the White House, you know what I'm saying? Want to get his hoop on. LeBron, all of them come out to play. He said, you think people know where he's at? So, yeah, so the security's still out there and everything. He said, but why? Why would people need to know where the president is? And I was like, well, if something break out, and while I was saying it, the light bulb went off. I was like, well, if something break out, he the one got to push the button. He the one got to make the call. He was like, yeah. Now you're the president of your house. Why would your wife not need to know where you're at? Why would your kids not need to know where you at? Because if there's a decision to be made, and Ivery just said the buck stops here, and I'm taking ownership of what I need to do, so I have to be accountable for the decisions that are made in my house. You can't be upset that your wife is saying, where you going? Who you going to be with? Because if any decision, any major decision needs to be made, she needs to be able to get in contact with you to make that decision. Because now, if she makes the decision without you and it doesn't go well, now what you going to say? Now you back to complaining. Like, man, no, you allowed her the opportunity to make the decision because you were not available. You were not accessible. So how do we complain about that? And I had to put my hand up first. I was guilty. Like, stop. You calling me about spending $30 at the grocery store? What are you doing? It's $30. But that's a level of respect for the position that you hold. But we get to the point where we like, man, why she questioning us? You don't trust me. No, it's not about the level of trust. It's about the level of access. And a lot of brothers are like, that's why it looks like you're cheating. Because now you don't want to tell somebody where you're going because I'm the man. I can leave when I want to. I don't have to ask for permission. Go
Hold
for
on.
it.
Let's get to the root of this. Men are very insecure beings.
Woo!
We are afraid of somebody leaving us. We are afraid of abandonment. We are afraid of positions where we've been in the past and we didn't get to be able to say and do what we wanted to do. And the worst thing in the world is to have this done publicly. So, at all costs, men will not want to be publicly ashamed or shamed by their relationships, whether it be with their family, whether it be with their spouse. And so, if you get to the root of it, if you really look at all those little things, it's I don't want you to be in my business, but why are you asking? Do you think I'm cheating on you? Because then our mind, I shout out to some people that we know, build cities. And once we built the city, we're in like the neighbor city. And the neighbor city talking about, hey, such and such is cheating on you because she's asking this question. So you got to get through your thick skull that, look, if you found the right one, God's going to tell you if and or, when this would happen. So stop reacting in fear versus going and doing what you're supposed to do in your house. So
You say go do what you're supposed to do in your own house. And when I think about you get this circle of brothers who are in relationships,
yeah,
they tend to complain about the mate. Oh man, yeah, yep, my girl do that too. She spend too much. Or man, she question everywhere I go. She don't like when I hang out with my guys. Like you're complaining.
maybe they're not worthy of being hung out with.
You're complaining about something that you are allowing to happen in your life. Sometimes we have to change our circle.
Maybe the actions and reactions, you go hang out with I don't know, Tommy, and every time you come home it's 4:00 in the morning, you smell really, really bad, like alcohol or something like that. So if that happens time after time, there's a reaction to that. So maybe you and Tommy shouldn't hang out.
At least not at midnight. Maybe
you guys do lunch.
Right, we got to go to Starbucks while it's open. Like those type of things as a man, and we both were raised by single mothers. Our mothers put us in situations to be around other men.
You are glossing over some stuff. Strong, black,
absolutely,
mothers that are queens of the community stood there, steadfast. People knew who you were just by walking down the street. Oh, that's such and such son.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if something happens to him, it's going to be some repercussions and activity at the school or wherever you at because you were covered by this woman. And I think
absolutely
just like my mama. So, Mama Pat, I respect what you did as a man. I know what happened. I know you prayed a lot, and thank you so much.
Oh man, you talking about mamas being praying for? Man, I would come in the house and my mama is like in travail. I remember as a little boy, she was praying so hard. I just laid on her back while she was praying. You know, those prayers from years ago, and that she's still praying now. And I thank God if you still have the ability to pick up the phone and talk to your mama, you still blessed. No matter what the situation is, my mom came here after the transplant surgery. Yes, it did get a little overbearing because every move I made, she was like, "You okay? You all right? You okay?" Yeah, Mom, good. But as a mother, she did her thing, and I appreciate you for that, Mom. But the other thing is, they put us in situations to be around other men to show us how to develop as a man. But the one thing I knew, I was going to be a good parent because I had a good parent and I seen that. It was a little difficult navigating being a husband because I didn't see that up close and personal on a regular basis. And a lot of us haven't seen that. So there's a learning curve. So when you hanging out with people, I'll ask you this. How do you think it comes across when all the people, all the guys in your circle are single and you're married? How do you navigate that?
Bro, I cut those guys out. It's almost like when you have kids and you hang around with people that don't have kids, it just doesn't work. Like, my kids are coming with me regardless of whether you like it or not, because every time I hang out with you is not going to be a double because I got to go ahead and pay for babysitting and all this other stuff. You're not worth all that. No disrespect to anybody that's friends, family members out there, but we are going to have a whole family gathering, right? So
You said you're not worth me finding a babysitter for when my kids can be with me. What are you talking about?
right. So either you like kids or you don't. You have kids or you don't, and we're gonna figure this out. They're gonna be in that room over there while we having a little fun over here. So,
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
But those things help us navigate life. And somebody talked about your circle.
Yeah.
And if your wife is not really feeling the circle of friends that you're hanging around,
And
who's
vice
more?
versa.
And vice versa. Oh, if your wife got a bunch of single female friends, girl, we about to go to the club and turn up. What? Okay. Like,
So I told you this, and you know this. One of my circles was my father-in-law, and this dude, he's about to be 90 next year. And
oh, shouts out to Pops. About to be 90. Let's go.
Jefferson is a beast. This is gonna be my thing. He taught me some things when I was first starting off into working. He was like, "Baby, shut up, don't say anything," because I was going through a bit of racism. I was in a position where they hadn't seen a lot of me's, and he was like, "Don't." How did he say it? He basically said, "Don't let somebody's emotions get you off of where you're supposed to be." So, like,
he was prime time before prime time.
Oh, bruh. And I knew it was happening, but sometimes you gotta ignore stuff, and then people just started falling off at the job, and the people that messed with me were gone, and now all of a sudden I'm the only one left, and it was just so easy. So that wisdom, I yearned a lot, and you can learn from people's mistakes a whole lot more sometimes than what people do. And he was willing and able to tell me about certain things in so many critical relationships of my life, and I forever thank him. And he's just one of those guys that, dude, how do you continue to do that? And like, I've been in his life for a little while now. So yeah, you got to find good people that have been around. I mean, shoot, he saw racism. He saw he was born in 1935. Put it in perspective.
Yeah. He that dude, and I've met him before, and like, yeah, when you talk to him, it's just like you just feel like you just got a bag of jewels just dropped on you. Be like, right. Whoa, it's just raining. It's raining diamonds around here. So
he ain't afraid to share it either.
Not afraid to share it. Shouts out to Mr. Jefferson for all the jewels you dropped, baby. We love him. Hey, but you start thinking about your circle.
Yeah.
And if you're moving ahead and your circle is not moving with you, they're no longer a circle. They're more of a cage.
Yeah.
If your circle of friends are not helping you advance and on the same playing field, and not that because as men, we like, man, we keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? These been my guys since back in the day. Ooh, I'm not just gonna leave them behind. My loyalty. But what is your number one purpose in life when you get married and have children? Is it your loyalty to your boys, or now the loyalty to the family that God blessed you with? And then we complain, man, I can't never go hang out with my guys. So I'm at this point where, like, why do I want to hang out with the guys who are not?
It's a loyalty to both, because if they were your guys, they were at your wedding, and they're
Yeah.
not gonna let you slip up or do anything like that. So now you have people that are part of that circle, like my buddy said at the end of the wedding. You're gonna hold these guys accountable. You're gonna make
Yeah.
sure they do what they're supposed to do. So if you have true quote unquote guys or girls, they're not gonna mess with you. They're like, you know what, this ain't the place to be. Like, I don't know what the actor said, but he was basically talking about Mr. Walk on Fire. He was like, look, you want to leave this party a half an hour before the devil comes, right? So what are you doing? Like, you should. And my main point back to that is, if they're your guys, you should give them a blueprint of what marriage is and what success is. I think a
Yes, sir.
successful marriage is what everybody yearns to have. And
So,
we're getting attacked out there. It's crazy. Go ahead.
man, here's a question I want you to think about for the next show.
Sure.
Do you feel that somebody can reach their full potential and not be married?
Only person on earth that ever did that was Jesus. And the reason why I say that is he had to come and break some stuff down so that we can go and get that done. But your rib is supposed to be what gets you to the next level. Now, listen, you can do some phenomenal things, but I truly believe that if you have your rib with you, that makes you the power of not two, but the power of 10. And you can do some great things in this world, especially if you have two people working with it, one person praying, one person doing, the other person praying. You're both praying together. It's just, it's it's a tether that you can't break. And you got so much strength because somebody else has your back. So crazy, man. Yeah,
Man, that was it. Me and the fiance played this game with these cards. It was,
yeah.
I forget the name of it, and one of the questions was, why do you think marriage is so important? And my reply was, I don't think that you can get to your full potential if you're not married. And and she was like, well, really? Why do you think that? I said, society has taught us, especially our women,
Yeah.
that you could do this without a man. Yep, you can, but it's going to be extremely harder to do it alone. I said, think about taking your kids to their sports events, being the breadwinner, making the dinner, coming home, being a disciplinarian, doing all that, and then you doing it by yourself. But just having a helpmeet or somebody who's got your back, and every success that I've ever gotten, it doesn't feel as good when I'm just celebrating by myself. I don't know if that's me, but I think when you have a accomplishment, to have somebody to celebrate it with is good. And then when I think about, I don't know if we've ever had a president that wasn't married. Maybe one,
Only widowed, but
only widow.
yeah.
And I think about the some of the top athletes when they were at the top of the game, they were married. Like, it's countless and countless examples of being married, but our society is teaching, especially, I'm gonna call it like it is, our black women, that they don't need a black man because black women are the most educated people on the planet. And I heard somebody say, well, they intimidated by my degrees. No, baby, we don't care about your degrees. I don't even care how much money you make. We're intimidated by your jacked up attitude. But
Whoa. Let me go ahead and stand up for the sisters real quick. I've done this in the past. We're representing 13% of the population.
absolutely,
Let's just say a little bit more than half would be women, as far as African Americans.
it's probably more than half.
That leaves 5%.
Right.
Then you look at men that could potentially, get jobs, be incarcerated, whatever the case is. Let's just say of those, that's 40% that have potentially been incarcerated, can't necessarily get the good jobs because they've had a background. So now you're looking at 3%. Of the 3%, let's just say one out of every three of those 3% maybe went to college, maybe not went to college. And then you have these amazing guys that are just out there. And like, you segment out what we really have, it's like a 1%er of this whole population that all these women are looking for. And we're talking about 6-7% of the women that are looking for this guy. So they're used to dealing with individuals that have a little bit of baggage. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that they've actually been the thing. And I would say that our women are at higher rates doing bigger things. It's not.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. They're definitely doing bigger things.
It's beyond their peril to like find a catch, quote unquote. And like
But
they've been taught to have higher standards.
should they be finding the catch? The good book says a man that finds a wife has found a good thing.
But you also have to be able to be found. So let's just tell it like it is, because there's some amazing women out there that know how to be found. And,
Right.
You can hang around the right and or the wrong areas. And
Those are the ones that I'm like, oh yeah, you doing it, baby. You are able to be found.
Yeah.
Because, and like my man said, it says a man that finds a wife, not a man that finds a girlfriend that he dates for a while, that then he proposed to, and then she becomes a wife. No, when I found you, you were already wife material. You already walked in that lighthood. But when you walk around with the attitude that I just believe wholeheartedly, no man wants to be where he's not needed. And I tell my daughter this on a regular basis. It's okay for you to be self-sufficient, but don't tell nobody that you're an independent woman, because independent means that you're alone, and you want to be alone.
Sure.
And as a man, you may not need my income, and that's cool. But don't tell me you don't need me at all, because now I don't want to be there. I don't want to be someplace where I'm not needed. You just said earlier in the show, men are insecure. That's an insecurity, not being needed. Not me. It's not even about you wanting me right now. You're just saying, "Oh, I don't need you. I could." Oh, okay.
Hey, brother. As we wrap up, I know that you listen. We could talk about this all day. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do another part 2, right? But as we wrap up, we haven't had any conversations about this NBA Finals. How do you feel about Kyrie going back to play Boston, where he came, he left, he was a little frustrated. They had some things that was going on with COVID and all this other stuff in Brooklyn. So how do you feel? Who's going to win? We're on the precipice.
First of all, kudos to my man Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man
brought the pain, and the league has to take notice. That young man is doing it, and he's doing it right. Now, NBA Finals, Boston, you let this man leave. He is on a tear. Uncle Drew is coming back to the crib. And but what's really most impressive to me about Kyrie, and always been impressive to me, like, and I have this argument on a regular basis. When Cleveland won a championship, everybody like LeBron did it. Absolutely not. LeBron was the role player in the finals. Kyrie was the man. But Kyrie has taken the step back and said, look, you can be the man. I'm going to play defense like nobody's business. I'm going to play D. But then y'all forgot when he said he was going to play D, that he still can score at any moment. I don't know, man. Boston got their hands full right now. I hope that it goes 7. Okay. But I'm afraid we might get a sweep somewhere.
Okay, so I got another thing. There was a guy by the name of Gilbert Arenas. He brought it up. He talked about the Europeans. There's going to come a time in the next 1 to 3 years where it's going to be all Europeans or all non-Americans that are in the first team All NBA. I'm just going to say some names out there that I believe this could happen. You got Luka, that's the point guard. SGA, that's the 2 from Canada. You got your pick. You could put Greek Freak. You could put Victor Wembanyama. You could put Rudy.
You got to put the Freak. You got to put the Greek Freak.
You could put Joker. So that's 6 players that are the top 6 players out there. And then Anthony Edwards is the only one that's kicking around. I mean, you got the guys from Boston, but I think those 6, 7 players. What is going on in the world of NBA/basketball in America? Because we're getting I would take that against anybody that America puts together. No disrespect to LeBron.
So when I think about that, and when you say that, remember the time when college basketball had the greatest athletes because they were trying to get to the league.
Sure.
You got to think about where these people are coming from and the type of countries that they live in. And they see the opportunity to come to the NBA and change not just their lives, but their families' lives. We have allowed, and rightfully so, we have allowed in college and high school NIL deals. Some of these athletes are making more money off NIL deals than their. Let's use Caitlin. She made more money off her NIL deals than she's going to get paid in the WNBA. So the drive, the fire that we used to have to get to the league, to get the money, to buy mama a house, to get us out the hood, we don't have to get to the league now. We gonna start making money in high school, but these people in overseas, they like, we ain't seen that type of money, and we can see. Wait, the freak. Not only did he get over to the league, he got his brother in the league. He took care of his family. He changed his whole narrative. He got them out of a country that was they could die at any moment, and I could do that. They are playing for their lives. We are playing. We're not playing for the love of the game anymore. We're playing to get a deal. They're playing to change their life. And when it was a time where African Americans were like, man, this is the only way out of the hood. Yeah, that's why we was dominating. But now we got some other opportunities, which is great. But the question is, why is it happening that way? Because they're looking overseas and saying, man, if I could put that ball in that hoop and they can't stop me, I can change my family dynamic. That's my opinion on it.
I'll say this and I'll leave it alone. The Yao Ming effect. When Yao Ming came to the league, he was always the number one center, no matter what Shaq did. Why? Because he brought a whole country, and that country had billions of people. So the NBA said, why would we just cater to them? So we're going to change these rules so it could actually cater to the Euro League, which is quote unquote a little bit softer, less physical, but more about the threes and more about making sure that you get more points. So I just think that this is going to be something to look for. Hey, man, it's been a great time. I'm excited about this. I don't know what we're going to call this, but I'll leave it up to you, brother. I'm going to let you go ahead and put us out of here.
Hey, as we wrap up University of Man, we appreciate you listening. One, thank you for your prayers, your thoughts, comments. Follow us on our social media feeds. You see that, but also follow University of Man on Facebook and Instagram. Let's not complain. And Bible Boot Camp. And I also do a Bible study online. But let's not complain about the things that we allow in our lives. And also, Ivery said it, and I think that's going to be the title. You can be accountable, and you got to say it again because I want to make sure I get it right.
You can be accountable and not own, but you cannot own and not be accountable.
You can be accountable and not own, but you cannot own and not be accountable. Love it. So with that, that's a mic drop. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. God bless. We'll see y'all soon.
I'm a classic man. You can be mean when you look this clean. I'm a classic man. Calling on me like a young OG. I'm a classic man. Your knees get met by the free, elegant, old-fashioned man. Yeah, baby, I'm a classic man.
University of Man.